Greetings to all. This is Gurleen Kaur. I am currently pursuing my master's in construction engineering and management at CEPT University. This portfolio represents the work done as a part of my research project titled Evaluating Financial Feasibility of Retrofitting and Rehabilitating Existing Structures for ESG Compliance. This study stems from the urgent need to align the built environment with the environmental goals, particularly within the framework of ESG compliance. While new constructions often meet the sustainability standards, the existing buildings continue to operate with inefficiencies, representing a major opportunity for impactful retrofitting. The research aims to investigate whether retrofitting these existing buildings, especially from a financial standpoint, could align them with the green building benchmarks while remaining economically viable. By focusing exclusively on the environmental component of ESG, the study analyzes key retrofitting interventions across energy, water, waste management, indoor environmental quality, and other operational domains. ESG has evolved from being a niche regulatory consideration to a mainstream business imperative. Today, it dictates not only how companies are governed, but how they build, operate, and sustain their physical assets. Rapid urbanization, especially in developing countries like India, has led to an explosion in the built environment, causing significant environmental strain. The construction industry now contributes a staggering 42% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, with 27% attributed to the operational energy use and another 15% from the construction materials. India, in particular, is witnessing exponential growth in the commercial real estate. But this growth comes with a carbon cost. In response, the country has pledged to achieve net zero emissions by 2070 with significant intermediate targets for the year 2030. The primary objective of the study is to evaluate the financial feasibility of retrofitting these existing commercial buildings to align them with the environmental ESG benchmarks. The methodology followed for the research includes studying the existing frameworks and the market analysis of the existing stock in the country, followed by collecting data at primary and secondary level and its analysis. In the end, a financial model has been developed to conclude the viability of this procedure in order to choose between retrofitting and reconstruction. The relevance of ESG to real estate and the built environment is immense. From material sourcing to energy consumption, water use, waste generation, and long term operational impact, buildings are at the core of environmental performance. As a result, ESG compliance has become a key decision driver for investors, developers, and tenants. The numbers speak volumes. In 2021, 86% of the investors agreed that a strong ESG proposition supports long-term value. 80% of the top 100 global companies started sustainability reporting. Over 3821 institutions became signatories to the Principles for Responsible Investment. ESG themed funds managed over 2.72 trillion USD and green bonds topped 1151 billion USD in issuance. The slide outlines the timeline for key global milestones, showing how the concept of ESG matured from a policy idea to a measurable and enforceable principle in corporate governance. As we move forward, the regulatory environment, investor sentiment, and tenant demands will increasingly prioritize green performance, making ESG not just a compliance tool but a business advantage. The evolution of ESG as a global movement traces back to the 1992 Rio Earth Summit and the 1997 Kyoto Protocol, and the landmark moments like the launch of UNPRI in 2006 and the widespread adoption of the standardized sustainability disclosures. Let us now examine how these principles translate into certification frameworks and rating systems for the various building performance. In the Indian context, The relevance of ESG has gained momentum in the last decade. A 2024 CBRE report highlights that over 70% of the institutional investors now prioritize ESG compliance while allocating capital, especially in the real estate assets. With nearly 60% of the India's urban building stock for 2040 yet to be constructed or upgraded, retrofitting presents a significant opportunity for greening existing stock. Further, the evolution of ESG globally can be traced to the frameworks like United Nations Principle for Responsible Investment and the Task Force on Climate-related Financial Disclosures. In India, SEBI's mandatory business responsibility and sustainability report for the top 1,000 listed companies from financial year 2023 onwards has institutionalized ESG reporting. The IGBC LEED and GRIHA frameworks have further catalyzed green building certifications with over 10,000 buildings registered as of 2024. Globally, several certification frameworks evaluate buildings based on their rigorous environmental performance criteria. Some of the most recognized international certifications include LEED, that is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, from the US Green Building Council, and the Building Research Establishment Environmental Assessment Method from the UK. These standards offer a structured framework to evaluate and benchmark green building performance from design through operations. In the Indian context, two major bodies are more prevalent, and they are IGBC and LEED. Beyond the rating systems, several nodal organizations, including the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and the Smart Cities Mission, are playing an active role in shaping India's green building agenda. Together, these systems provide a quantifiable and standardized way to evaluate building performance, which becomes especially important when making investment decisions like retrofitting. This slide sets the macroeconomic context of the study by presenting recent trends in the Indian commercial office market. The intent here is to understand the demand supply dynamics, the evolving role of ESG compliant spaces, and how these trends substantiate the relevance of retrofitting existing buildings. To begin with, India's office market has demonstrated remarkable resilience and growth in the post pandemic era. From a total grade A office stock of 545 million square feet in 2019, the market is projected to grow to about 760 million square feet by the end of 2024. This substantial increase underscores the sustained investor confidence and corporate demand for high quality commercial spaces. A key transition worth noting is the shift from a supply-driven market to an occupier-driven one. This implies that the tenants now demand not only more space but also higher standards for operational efficiency, sustainability, and comfort, the factors that align closely with the ESG principles. The first graph on the left illustrates the consistent rise in the gross leasing activity from 46 million square feet in 2019 to a projected 66 million square feet in 2024. What is notable here is that the new supply has also kept pace, ranging between 33 and 53 million square feet annually. Despite this, the vacancy rate has remained relatively stable, hovering around 16 to 18%. This indicates a healthy demand supply equilibrium, which opens a window for green retrofitting strategies. Rather than constructing new supply, there is an increasing case to upgrade existing stock for better ESG performance and faster market absorption. Moving to the next graph, which captures the grade A office space demand in major 6 cities of India, we can see a clear trend. Bangalore leads with a remarkable increase in the average leasing from 11.8 million square feet in 2017 to 19 to 17.9 million square feet in 2022-24. Cities like Delhi, NCR, Hyderabad, and Mumbai also reflect a growing preference for high performance workspaces. This demand spike is largely attributed to the multinational corporations and the Global Capability Centers or GCCs that favor ESG compliant buildings due to their global reporting mandates and also employee wellness goals. The graph on the right shows the city-wise growth in GCC leasing from 2022 to the year 2024. This trend indicates a rapid escalation in the demand for green certified and retrofitted buildings, especially in the emerging Tier 1 office markets. The key growth drivers for green buildings include occupiers' increasing prioritization of ESG goals such as net zero carbon emissions. Additionally, the financial benefits associated with green buildings like cost savings through enhanced energy efficiency are becoming a significant consideration. There is also a growing focus on employee well-being and productivity, supported by frameworks like SEBI's BRSR and global disclosures. These factors, along with the supportive state level policies and incentives, are enhancing the adoption of green building practices. Furthermore, global occupiers are aligning their preferences with sustainability standards, especially those associated with LEED and the IGBC certifications. The first graph shows the leasing trend in the green certifying buildings over the years. In 2023, green certified buildings accounted for approximately 28.7 million square feet of leasing, with a notable projection of 36.41 million square feet in the year 2024. This indicates a sharp rise of 20% year on year in leasing, particularly in the engineering sectors. By 2025, the demand for the green certifying buildings is expected to further increase, with an estimated 49.6 million square feet being leased, representing 85% of the total office leasing market. On the right side, we can see the office market trends in Ahmedabad, especially for grade A spaces. Historically, the city's office market has been characterized by strata sold properties with limited amenities, making it less competitive compared to the established hubs like Bangalore and Mumbai. However, there has been a noticeable shift in recent years. The market saw a record leasing volume of 3 million square feet in 2024, driven by demand for high quality sustainable grade A office spaces. This was a 64% increase from the previous years and helped to reduce the vacancy rates from 44% in the year 2022 to 39.2% in 2024. In summary, the data highlights that Ahmedabad is increasingly emerging as a competitive market for sustainable office spaces. Ahmedabad's office market is evolving into a major business hub supported by strong infrastructure, emerging grade A office developments, and clearly defined commercial zones which are tailored to occupier needs. The city is zoned into three key areas: the Central Business District (CBD), the Secondary Business District (SBD), and the Gift City as shown on the map. The market statistics indicate a total office inventory of approximately 270 lakh square feet with an overall vacancy rate of 25.2%. Among the sub-markets also, Gift City records the lowest vacancy rate at 7.27%, highlighting high occupancy and demand. The year-to-date leasing activity stands at 18.12 lakh square feet, with Gift City again leading with 6.71 lakh square feet. The year-to-date completions amount to 22 lakh square feet, while over 67 lakh square feet remains under construction. Discussions with the market stakeholders reveal that Ahmedabad has around 38 to 40 million square feet of office spaces when combining the current stock and the projects under construction. However, only about 2 to 5% of this stock is green certified, pointing to a major opportunity for sustainable transformation. For the case study based evaluation, as a part of the study, two buildings were selected. The criteria for selecting a suitable building focused on four parameters. First, being the building age. The buildings taken were constructed between 2010 to 2015. Next is the building type. High-rise commercial offices were preferred as they would have more area to be modified under the benchmarks. Next is the ownership pattern. Single owned property by a developer were considered as changes are difficult to be carried out if the consultations of multiple stakeholders are required. And lastly, reputed or organized developer buildings were considered so as to ease out the process of collecting data from the existing performances of the building. Based on these criteria, the selected case study was a G plus 10 story commercial office building in Ahmedabad, completed in the year 2012. It has a total site area of 73,280 square feet and a built up area of almost 2.5 lakh square feet. The structure includes two basement levels and ground plus 10 upper floors, divided across two blocks. The total number of office units stand out at 44, that is 4 per floor in each block. The office operates under a full-time working schedule with peak hours from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. This case study offers a relevant model for evaluating the financial and the technical feasibility of ESG compliant retrofitting in the evolving landscape of the city. With IGBC being the most prevalent energy performance rating system in the city, this slide presents the IGBC based performance evaluation of the selected commercial building using a whole building approach that assesses existing structure across 5 key sustainability categories. Only operational non-residential buildings occupied for at least 1 year qualify for this certification, which further is valid for 3 years. The analysis used building plans, occupant load, operational schedules, utility bills, and technical specifications of existing systems. The data was benchmarked against the IGBC's 5 core categories, that is the site and facility management, water conservation, energy efficiency, health and comfort, and innovation. I assessed the current practices and proposed retrofit strategies to enhance the overall green performance. The proposed interventions include adoption of a green policy, EV charging stations, and performance dashboards as a part of the site and facility management. For water conservation, dual flush WCs, aerator faucets, waterless urinals, and a 150 KLD STP has been proposed, which has led to a 76% potential water reduction. Energy efficiency proposals include installations of the VRV HVAC system with R32 refrigerant, LED lighting retrofits, and a solar PV system, resulting in a 64% reduction in the energy performance index. In health and comfort, fresh air AHUs, air quality sensors, eco cleaning agents, and universal access facilities have been proposed. After the proposed retrofits, the building is likely to achieve 62 points, possibly reaching the IGBC Silver certification level. In summary, the IGBC retrofitting plan significantly enhances the sustainability, especially in water and energy efficiency, bringing the building closer to green certification. The core findings of the energy efficiency calculations for the retrofitting office building located in hot and dry climatic zone as defined by the IGBC guidelines is as depicted. The comparative assessment of the total electricity consumption before and after retrofitting is as depicted in the table. The existing annual energy consumption of the building stood at approximately 70 lakh kilowatt hours with a built-up area of 23,000 square meters, of which 63% lies under the air conditioning. The energy performance index was calculated at 292.59 kilowatt hours per square meter per year, significantly exceeding the IGBC's benchmark limits. Following the retrofitting interventions, the annual energy consumption is projected to significantly reduce to 25 lakh kilowatt hours, marking a reduction of 45 lakh kilowatt hours annually. The proposed EPI thus drops significantly to 105.69 kilowatt hours per meter square per year, which is well within the permissible limits and indicative of the enhanced energy performance. The proposed measures include replacement of old air-conditioned units with the more energy-efficient VRV systems, resulting in 79% reduction in the HVAC energy use. Similarly, retrofitting of conventional lighting system with LEDs achieved a 79.16% reduction in the existing lighting uses. In terms of the solar panel integration, the building proposes installation of around 699 panels across the 14,000 square feet of roof area. Each panel has a capacity of 0.33 kilowatt, leading to a total installed capacity of 230 kilowatt hours. With an expected annual generation of 3.32 lakh kilowatt hour, the solar setup would offset approximately 13% of the building's total annual energy requirement, thereby enhancing its sustainability quotient and reducing the dependency on the grid power. The overall impact of retrofitting is visually represented at the bottom of the slide. Post-retrofit projections include a 64% improvement in the energy performance index, 76% reduction in the water consumption, 79% reduction in the overall electricity consumption, and a 13% contribution to renewable energy. Thus, the proposed strategy not only ensures compliance with the IGBC benchmarks but also illustrates a holistic move towards sustainability, efficiency, and long-term cost savings. These improvements substantiate the viability of energy retrofitting in the existing infrastructure, especially in the climatically demanding zones. Moving further with the financial analysis and the project cash flow evaluation for the proposed retrofits, the objective is to assess the economic viability of sustainable upgrades by analyzing the capital investment, operational savings, and the long-term financial returns. The total capital expenditure required for retrofits stand at 16 crores. This includes the investments in the energy efficient HVAC systems, LED lighting, renewable energy integration, and also the fixtures upgradation. This upfront cost constitutes the primary financial outflow of the project. The model considers three key sources of inflow. Post retrofitting, the monthly rental income is projected to be at 12 lakh with a year-on-year growth of 5%. This uplift is attributed to the enhanced performance of the building, improved thermal comfort, and green building credentials that justify higher lease rates. Also, the annual energy savings are substantial, that amount to about 1.34 crores per month for office areas and 26 lakhs per month for the common areas. These savings significantly reduce operational expenditure and contribute to financial inflows. Also, the project is eligible for approximately 84 lakhs in the green building subsidies, contributing positively in quarter 2 of year 1 and improving the early stage cash flow. On the right is the detailed financial model that outlines quarterly inflows and outflows across 5 years. The table highlights three components: outflow, that is the capital investment; revenue inflow, that includes the rental escalation and the utility savings; and lastly, the subsidy inflow. The cumulative cash flow trajectory illustrates that despite a substantial initial deficit of 16 crores in Q1, the project begins to stabilize by Q2 of year 3, where cumulative cash flow turns positive, marking the payback period. By year 5, the cumulative surplus reaches approximately 18 crores. This indicates that the payback period is achieved in the second quarter of year 3, after which the project yields consistently positive quarterly returns. The model demonstrates that the retrofitting not only contributes to the sustainability but it also provides strong financial performance over time. Not only this, a dual financial model was developed. As this is the project financial model presented here, it captures the total returns including all the rental and the operational savings. Apart from this, a developer financial model was made that focused only on returns from the owner occupied areas and accordingly reflects a more conservative payback period, that is about 6 years, as it excludes shared energy area savings. This model established indicates that green retrofitting, when planned strategically, delivers not only compliance with the norms but also their robust financial returns, thereby aligning the environmental and the economic objectives. To conclude, the study demonstrates that targeted green retrofitting focuses on energy, water, waste, and systems efficiency, can significantly enhance both sustainability and financial viability of existing buildings. Despite constraints like full occupancy, phased retrofitting delivered over 50% energy efficiency, 76% water savings, and an annual energy cost reduction of 26 lakh, while aligning with the IGBC silver certification goals. The key limitation faced here was property's full occupancy, making retrofitting activities like HVAC upgrades unfeasible without tenant disruption. As a result, phased implementation and related costs were excluded from the financial model due to estimation challenges. This reinforces the value of ESG aligned retrofitting in meeting the national climatic targets and attracting environmentally conscious investors. Future work can further explore the social and the governance aspects of the ESG compliance, ensuring broader and more inclusive sustainable development. Thank you.